Okay, folks, welcome back. All right, this is probably going to do the world's quickest build. He's already worked on some of it. And we got a new chair, a new old chair. I picked that up today. Hopefully it's not making that annoying popping sound for you guys. Squeaking. At least not today. Let it last another couple weeks before we do that. All right, so we've got this this bouncing truck. Let me get my super readers. We're going to need that. And we've already added some... oh, there we go. So this thing's got a mind of its own now all of a sudden. We've already added some black washing on here. I think to both sides and around here. It doesn't look like it's got any front headlamps, which is kind of strange. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot to do it. I've already sealed it. We're going to go ahead and weather this thing. Now, it looks like, hey, it's got no weapons. Well, it's got what they call a wall of amplifiers. That's the weapon. And it's going to be a bunch of guys with handguns. The wall of amplifiers is kind of a cool weapon, so to speak, for Gaslands. However, it uses 3 build slots. So a lot of vehicles have 3 build slots and less. There's very few that have more than that. As soon as you mount this huge boom box on there, that's it. You don't have space for anything else. So this is a support vehicle. And, well, I mean, I build stuff for Gaslands. I'm a war gamer, so, I don't just automatically do stuff. Just to do them. We play games with these. Well, that's the intent anyways. So let's get the three colors, the 3 triad here of chocolate brown, US field drab, and Iraqi sand. So let's put some of this down, and we're going to weather this joker. And then we'll do the drippings. That's probably about all we're going to do to it. It is a support vehicle, which basically means its usefulness definitely depends on the other vehicles in the group. Hot Wheels Custom. You sell them for other people, or you do them for yourself? Well, let me show you the one I just finished. You might recognize this vehicle. Whoa! All right, well, we need to secure that thing. Jesus, I was not expecting that. Let me show you. Maybe you'll recognize this vehicle because I don't repaint them. These have pretty cool graphics and. Let's flip this thing around. There we go. Okay, so this is the one that we did this morning. So we kept the same. You're more of a JDM guy. Me too. I like the Japanese cars. I mean, I wouldn't drive anything like that, but this is for a ridiculous game where they're shooting at each other. So this is the Mexican lowriders group. And this came like this, just Fandango. Didn't have any of the windows painted, any of the rear lights. That's this one in particular. Yeah, I love the JDM stuff personally. That's the kind of stuff that I'm a fan of. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, so I've got different groups. I've got the Urban Brotherhood. I've got redneck vehicles. I've got Mexican lowriders. Asian Persuasion is what I'm going to call all the other guys. I got to flip the camera because it's so much better in this direction than the direction that it's normally in. And then, of course, we have apocalyptic absurdities like this. But I don't want everything to look like this. I like the vehicles to look like what they actually are. You're a JDM guy. Let's see if I can find a JDM thing here. I know I've got several of them. I've got lots of them to do. I'm surprised I haven't gotten a WRX yet, because that's what I personally have. I have a WRX, which when I make the Gaslands version of it, it'll be called Sabrina. But I don't have one yet. Let's see if we can put this somewhere where it's not all over the damn place. Sorry, I'm not a tech person, in case you couldn't tell. Let's see if we can get this tripod oriented in the correct direction. It works better from over here. Come on. Don't tip over. Don't tip over. Don't tip over. Oh man, where's the... We got a couple skylines to do. Nothing says JDM more than a skyline. Although there's probably a JDM guy out there that hates skylines. Sunburner, there we are. This is an old Prelude I got from somebody. It's all beat up and everything. I always wanted a Prelude. And then I'm like, I don't have that kind of money. And then, they don't make them anymore. Let's see what's in the Prelude here. You love the 33. The R33, I forget which one it is. I get them all mixed up. The 32, the 33, the 34. I don't like automatic cars that are automatic. Okay, this is how we wrap them up, because we travel with them and they're relatively safe like this. Let's see what we got inside. This is like a 1998 Prelude that was yellow. You'll probably recognize this thing. And, it's supposed to be apocalyptically beat up. So it actually has a laser in it, and we added a ram to it. The rust drippings. Oil slicks on the back. But one of my favorite things to do, I know this isn't JDM, talking about custom, is a lot of these, and I talk about this all the time. A lot of these models, there is a disconnect between the people that make them and the people that paint them. Okay, the people that design these models, a lot of them have all kinds of details that the paint department just doesn't want to paint. And that's my favorite thing to do. My favorite thing to do is to take... this little guy fell off. It's actually not glued on purpose. I use a little piece of white tack. So I want to rotate this direct. I don't want to drill it and put a magnet in it. It's a pain in the ass to do that. But this Focus RS had all these graphics already on it, right? All I did was weather it, added drippings to it. Well, the first thing I do is I clear coat it in matte. That allows you to give it a wash and the wash stick to something. But look at the back here. None of this on the back was painted. This entire back of this vehicle was all this same color green. I mean, sure, it had this stripe on it. All of this color green was on it. So all these lights actually had the detail of the lights, but none of it was painted on there. Welcome back, Ronald. None of this stuff was painted. And the RS logo is on the vehicle, and it's in 3D, and it was not painted. Why not? Welcome, Jake. So, obviously all the sponsors and stuff on here that you can see, the Ford logo, the big RS, that's all on there. But none of that was included. Same thing on the front. The front was just completely green. Nothing on it at all. So we needed to paint, some lights in a bit of a graphic novel effect, right? Rice stars. Rice burners, that's what I call them, yeah. I'm a fan of the... And no disrespect intended. I mean, I can't imagine driving something that's not a Japanese vehicle. Okay, but all these details were already cast on the body. The paint department just decided not to paint it. Why not, man? So I went in there and painted a little logo, and no, it does not say Ford on it. That would be impossible. You know, you like rice burners? What do you drive a rice burner? A car of the Asian persuasion. I get in a vehicle that's not Japanese, and I don't know where the hell the lights are. You know, I go to turn the lights on, and the windshield wipers go. I turn the windshield wipers, and I turn the lights off. You know, it's just messed up stuff. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. Man, I really wish you guys could see it from this angle. Like, you know, this is what I'm looking at all the time. You don't have any friends that say that? Just subscribe, man. Just subscribe. I'm on here all the time. I don't work on any of this stuff not filmed. You know, all of my stuff is filmed. So I don't think I've got anything else that's Japanese done yet. You know, unfortunately, these particular vehicles, okay, this type of this vehicle, and I don't repaint them because there's some beautiful. I need a body cam. All right. I need an assistant is what I need that works like really free. I said that they are lazy, and if they did more, then people would want them more. Now you have at least 80. Cool. I have two Honda 6. I don't have a Honda S2000 Hot Wheels. Twisted. I got to see some Twisted Metal videos, man. I've never played them. Look at how beautiful this thing is. And I'm not an American muscle car thing, but this thing is the paint job that the factory did on this is gorgeous. Now, you know, I made it look all weathered and the drippings and all that stuff, but, you know, and I could paint those stripes and it could take me a month to do it also, you know, but just a gorgeous vehicle. All right, let's put these guys back and let me show you what I have JDM wise since we're on the JDM flip. Okay. Let's see here. Where do we mount this thing on here? Let's see if we can improve this for you guys. All right. I'm going to put this, let me put it down. Now you see nothing. All right. Let me get my tripod behind me. Let's see if this is better for you guys. One of my tripods. Yeah, I'm not a tech guy, in case you can't tell. All the magic that I do involves painting shit that I've done for 4 decades. Just now doing cars. Loving every minute of it, but let's see if I can put you guys over here on the left-hand side. No, can't do that. I'll have to rearrange this entire thing. All right, let's put the tripod here. Let's aim it this way. This mount that the camera is on, let's see. Oh, can I modify this? I sure as hell can. I got lots of tripods and shit, but it just doesn't, I just don't have an interest in photography or any of this stuff. I like to talk about my hobby and look at toys and shit like that. All right. The camera is vertical, so let's see if we can keep that orientation going. All right. And let's see if we can do this. Okay, we can do that. And all right, in the right direction. And see if we can move this a little closer. And can we zoom in? We cannot zoom in. Why can't we zoom in? All right, can we get closer? All right, let's see. Let's flip this. Let's take this. Every day is a learning thing. And we're going to move this over here. And we're going to move this. Thank you. Now, why'd this go all limp dick on me? No, because this piece of shit fell off. All right, let's do this. let's put this down again. Jesus, I need an assistant. Let's screw this thing on. No wonder this was loose. This is actually a tripod that I got from somebody. They didn't want it anymore. I'm like, I'll take that. And it's a nice tripod. All right. And let's, we need to have it facing this way so you guys have a better view. And let's tighten this now. Why did it say I deleted a message? I didn't want to. I'm pressing buttons without wanting to. All right, this is amateur hour over here. Those of you that watch me know that I'm not competent when it comes to this stuff. Now, see, if I get up and show you something. You should be able to see it. Okay. All right, let's go with this for a little bit. At least your camera, the things won't be back assward. All right. Let's see what JDM stuff we have to do. And we have a lot of cars. We have a shitload of cars. Let's take the super readers off so I can see. Yeah, this is just, I don't know why this doesn't like to tighten up the way it is. All right. We have a Toyota MR2. Not really powerful. Show you how you did the headlamps. All right, I'll show you how I did the headlamps. And I don't know where I got this. I'm sure I got this from somebody else. Just my own spin on it. So normally the headlamps, I would do something like this. So I paint the whole headlamp like a dark gray. And then there's a semicircle of a little bit lighter gray at the bottom, almost like a crescent. And then I fill that in with a little bit, almost completely all the way to white. And very top in the center, add a little white dot. It's really pretty easy to do. And I think the first one I did that I was really, really happy with is when I was painting some of these German Opel Blitz trucks. You can see a little bit better on there. So dark gray overall, add some more white to it, create a crescent, and then add a little drop of white at the top. And I like how that looks. You know, it looks hokey, but hokey in a good way. Cartoonish without being funny. And I've been pretty happy doing the headlamps that way. It's a little tricky when you're dealing with a vehicle like this that actually has a plastic cover over the headlamp. See, that actual light is not, if you looked at the top, you know, it's unrealistic because the lamp is actually inset probably 4 or 5 inches from the front cover, which is just clear plastic. So I had to come up with a way of how to do that. So I basically did kind of the same thing. And I've been happy with how that looked. So anyhow, so we got an MR2 for the JDM. I personally like the JDM vehicles the best. I don't want to drive anything that's not a JDM. Let's put it that way. This is how that I was talking about that vintage toy store. This is how they come in. He's got this big box of just actually several bins, and they're all in these little bags, so that if you're mixing them up, you're not chipping up the little parts of it. This is an RX-7. I believe this is an RX-7. And when we repaint this, we've got some fog lights here to paint. We've got some rear lights. Look, they're cast on there. The paint department just decided not to paint them. We're going to leave all these graphics on there. It looks pretty good, you know? Just add guns. That's an RX-7. I got a lot of JDM stuff. I had to pick this thing up. Not JDM, but it's a Chevette. Pretty cool vehicle there. So, let's see here. We have another Focus that we picked up. I actually didn't have that. Wild color. Again, look, the front's not. They painted. They attempted to put some decals or something on here. I may actually repaint those. I don't know why this one has decals and the other one doesn't have them. Close up of the RX-7. Okay. I think I have another RX-7 too. What is this? It says 24/7, 2002 Malaysia. It only has one peg in the bottom. Here's the back. So what we'll do is we'll put a black line on all that stuff. There's all this subtle detail, like, you know, this spot here in the top that, you know, that you need to accentuate so you'll be able to see it from 2 and 3 feet away when you're playing with it. All right, what do we got? We got a lot of shit here. Is this the other RX-7? Yeah, here you go. It's a different body because it doesn't have that little notch in the top. This one's called 95 Mazda RX-7 Drift. This is, what year is this one? 2024. Same thing. We'll keep those numbers on there and everything. A dyslexic man walks into a bra. There's a lot worse things you could walk into. Not a bad looking little car. With that rotary engine, right? You know, I'm not a fan of vehicles like this, but I'll be damned if this doesn't make a great vehicle for Gaslands, a Buick Riviera. Freaking badass vehicle. Not JDM, obviously. What else we got here? Okay, Honda Civic Customs. I have like a ton of these. And they're cute little things. This is like a Japanese Mini Cooper. Except I'd rather drive one of these things, you know? I picked up a bunch of these. It actually has some pretty decent lights on the back. Now, what I can't understand, and if you're one of these people, that's okay. I just can't understand it. I can't understand buying this stuff and like not taking it out of the package. Not only do I take it out of the package, we paint them up. And, you know, these are all... I didn't even know I had this thing. Not JDM. Diamacchini Veloce. Yeah, this is for my Italian team. Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I've got so much stuff that... But hey, I'm knocking out a car like every other day, so... All I gotta do is stop buying them for a year and they'll all be painted. Audis. Here's a Toyota Celica. This is a rather old one, isn't it? 2001. It's like, that's not that long ago. Yeah, it was. It was 24 years ago. RHL. RHL, man. Turbo. What else do we have here? Porsche, Little Roar. I got a couple of GR86s. Here's one of them. An extremely attractive looking car. Maybe not this color, but it's dark enough that all the weathering will show up nicely. I have another 86 around here somewhere. You know, if you see it, you got to buy it because it might not be available next time you see it. Next time you go to that place. This is not JDM, it's Korean, but it's on the Asian persuasion team. Here's one of the, I may only have 2 Skylines. Here's a Skyline with some crazy graphics on it. What's this one, a 33? Is that the one you like? What's written on it? AKE something. My favorite car, they don't bring it to the States, is the Silva. Silvas look gorgeous. Like an S15 Silva in silver. Totally my kind of car. Although, you know what? Once you drive an all-wheel drive, it's kind of hard to go back to anything else. Pretty nice to be able to turn it. Take a 45-degree. Here's a little French guy I was talking about earlier this morning. This is going to be Petite Wee Wee. OUI. It's a little tiny little Renault. It's not that tiny because, you know, they made it bigger because it's a small car. Thank you. Here's another Honda 73 Custom. Nice paint stripes on there. Pretty cool. This is a Skyline. This came from the dollar store place in Poiple. What year is this one? 2011. This is an earlier Skyline. And I think I have one like this. It's also gold. Put it in the baggie so it doesn't get all chipped up. This thing, I have a, where is it? I have an Eclipse. I have an Eclipse around here somewhere. Now I want to say it's yellow. I have a yellow Eclipse. I had a friend of mine that had one of those. Well, I didn't have a car, and he did. It's a freaking badass looking car. At least back in the day, the driver's console looked like a freaking aircraft. Here it is. Here's the other Altima. I was going to say no. Here's the other Skyline. Number 2. Go ahead and take one of these bags and put it in there so it doesn't get scratched up. Well, you know, the thing is you go to the store and you spend $40 and you come back with 40 cars. Like, you know, that's a pretty good deal. I don't think there's any JDMs in here. And I had some that were given to me. Please don't give me any more cars. I need to get through the stuff that I have. And then sometimes you have JDM stuff that is not a JDM vehicle. Like here's a Corvette, but this is obviously, well, maybe this is, you know, Chinese, but it's got a hell of a dragon on there. Greenwood Corvette. Probably have this guy on the Asian persuasion team as well. Oh, it's not Asian. Well, the driver is. Probably don't have any. Oh, CRX. Is that JDM? Got a CRX that we got used. 88 CRX. I mean, it's got some nice graphics on there. See, the headlamps aren't even painted on there. It's going to look great. You know, and if this isn't the right color, this blue, then what we'll end up doing is we'll end up color matching it to the rest of the body. You know, and it's a lot of fun to look through the cars, even if you don't get any. You know, it's not like I'm just buying shit. You know, the right stuff has to be there. Or I'm not going to buy it. Oh, does this count as JDM? Look at this son of a bitch. It's got a samurai on it. Oh, you fuck up now. Some modern, what is this thing called? Doesn't even say, 1994. JDM stuff in there. I don't think so. Oh, Ferraris and such. Not JDM. I don't take them out of the packaging because it's asking for them to get damaged more than anything else. That's good. We want to hold on to that. Pagani. Here's another custom 700. This little guy's cute. Let me look through the camera, make sure you guys have it in view. But none of these I'm just going to take out and just leave them. They'll all be for Gaslands and put guns on them and stuff like that. And all be built differently. Here's another 73 Civic Custom. Honda, in case you don't know who the hell makes a Civic. Get out of here. You don't know who makes a Civic? Get out of here. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Here's a Supra. Ooh, I paid a whole $2 for this one. With bronze wheels. I don't have one of the 90s Supras. I always like how those look. What else we got here? What's JDM even stand for? I know what. Japanese domestic market. That's what it is. That's got to be what it. You know, like, I don't like vehicles like this personally, but they're great for this game. You know. Now that absurd orange windshield, that just got to go. Oh, I saw one in the store that was called this. It says Lickety Split. That's a lesbian car. Nothing wrong with that. They get cars too. Here's the other. Oh, this is a BRZ. Okay, not an 86. Same thing. You know, one's a tangerine, one's an orange. Okay. What else we got? Oh, this guy. This is a cool vehicle, but we'll have to repaint the tires. Subaru Brat. I always liked the way these things looked. White ass tires. I mean, this isn't your sister's freaking BMX bike. Get rid of them tires. They'll just get repainted black. You know, rubber colored. Rubber colored and muddy. Are you selling the Honda Civic? No, none of this stuff is for sale. You can get them, man. I won't buy more than one of them. I don't buy stuff to resell. You know, I've ran into people that do buy things. It's not worth my time. Now, there are also some other cheapo stuff like this. This is a Walmart brand, this Adventure Force. And here's the thing, they're not any cheaper than the regular ones. And they don't have interiors. But this is a 370 or a 350. I don't know which one. I won't say on it. It doesn't tell you shit. But That's JDM. Volkswagen. That's a Kia. See, I'm gonna leave this. See, look at these. Look at these anime type graphics. We'll leave that on there for anime fans. I'm not really an anime fan. That may be all the JDMs I have. Now I'll have to send you the bill for turning everything upside down. And there's some absurd things. Like I was at a flea market and I saw this. This is an absurd, tuned looking vehicle, but it works great for this environment. Yeah, I think that's all the JDM stuff I have. Except that Eclipse somewhere. So I'd like to get a WRX, maybe a Forester. All right. Let's put Nova Paint away. Which is your favorite of all those? I just wrap them up like this. Sunburner. Got a laser on it. It's not a great game. It's a fun game. It's a simple game. Really absurd things happen that create a lot of havoc and laughter. And it allows you to use these things in something. You know. So my abilities are painting things, not making videos. Otherwise, we'd be doing like a 3D bot maker type thing. But you guys do know who 3D bot maker is, right? Not that they needed my suggestions for followers. I mean, I don't know how he doesn't have 1 million followers already. The guy deserves to have 4 million followers. That's the best shit on the internet. You know, but he doesn't really paint stuff. You know, he just makes videos and races them and insane stuff happens. All right. Whew. Well, that was fun. Now let's see if we can move this in a way that I'm not going to be in your way. And then wait a few seconds for the camera to catch up. Now let's move it a little bit more. All right. So yeah, I've got 9 or 10 vehicles done for my the Urban Brotherhood. And, oh look, the front of this just fell off because I used hot glue gun. Okay, well, we'll fix that in a second. It's an easy fix. All right, so we got this lowrider truck. Who knows what vehicle this really is? A core one. You know, some of them, I happen to like the vehicles actually to tell you what they are. This is just some kind of pickup truck of unusual something or another. And this dried out on me. All right, so we just use a different dry brush. Whoop-dee. We'll use this one right here. It's been hanging up upside down. All right, let's get chocolate brown. For those of you who want to see how I do the weathering, which is easy to replicate. Gonna get almost all the paint off of here. But the secret to make this able to work is give it a clear coat first, a flat clear, because that basically gives it like a sandpaper finish on a really fine level, but a sandpaper finish that allows everything else to stick to it until you seal it again. We're going to start down here with the wheels. So if you have too much, it's on the wheels. Oh, and we did not glue this thing down. So let's go ahead and do that. Although I didn't glue it down because the bottom of it is so low, actually that's actually rubbing into it. We're going to put a splooge there, a splooge there, pull this wheel out, a splooge there, and one there. All right, we'll forget about this now. Put this away. I actually went to a couple stores today looking for, speaking of JD, they have this thing called the Kaizen Express. And they have, it's almost like a van that is all Asianed out. And they make several different paint schemes for it. And there's one that's green, that has like a lucky cat on it. That's the one I want. And it's a 2026. So the 2026 stuff is already out. I just hadn't seen it. I didn't even know about it until I watched somebody doing like an unboxing. So we're going to go over these wheels. I didn't paint the bumpers either. Damn me. Getting all out of whack. Well, we'll just come back and weather it, that part. I got so excited doing the Durango, I wanted to do some more stuff. For the work week, shines its ugly head. And I don't like to build things that look a certain way, and then when you get into the game, they don't have those things. I don't want to put machine guns on it, and then the game doesn't allow me to put machine guns on it because of point values. Right? I mean, this thing is completely maxed out with the boombox. Not for points, but for build slots. It takes 3 build slots, and the truck has 3 build slots, and that's it. I can't put any guns or anything like that. So I'm a fan of building them how they look. That's a big appeal to me. Yeah, we'll go ahead and weather it, and then we'll come back and do the bumpers. I'll show you guys how to do that. People ask me about the weathering all the time, anyways. All right, I'm not even gonna clean the brush. Right, we're gonna come in and do U.S. Field Drab, which is the next color. And this is how I do that dusty effect, as somebody called it the other day, today, I think. I did run into a guy when I was shopping for cars about a couple of months ago. He was in the toy section. I'm like, hey, you find anything cool? He's like, I'm just looking for stuff to resell. I didn't say anything to him. Like, why are you reselling shit, dude? But it's not worth my time to do that. You buy a car for $1, sell it for $2. That's not that big. That's not that big of a deal. It's not like it's a markup or anything. Much. I mean, it's not worth my trouble to do any of that stuff. Okay, once you've got this all the way around, then we'll go in with a third shade, which is Iraqi sand. And then this one goes about everywhere. Not necessarily just on the bottom. It goes up on the sides too, just to make it lived in. Now, I work in an environment that's pretty dusty, and it takes no time for your car to get dirty. You don't need a whole lot of dust swirling around to create that. And I kind of want these cars to look like, well, they could be an urban environment, they could be out in the desert somewhere. It's not like you're painting vehicles for winter, and if you're playing in some environment that's not snow, they look out of place. I don't know that I'm going to repaint the bumpers. Honestly, they look pretty good like this. Looks pretty good. I got to wait for the delay on my phone a little bit. Either that or get up. And then we'll come up here in the back. And we got some speakers back here. We're just going to run over this. Make this stuff stand out. And the windows look glossy because I have sprayed this flat, but I've not sprayed it flat together. I take it apart, then I spray it. Then we prime the stuff on the inside. Like I think this had like either a chrome interior or a purple interior. Like that ain't gonna fly. That ain't gonna fly. Yeah, I'm not gonna paint the bumpers. I'll leave them. This will be the one time I don't paint the bumpers. And once you get it to that point, now we get to do what I call the drippings. So we use these things here. Quick Army Painter, Quick Shade. These are the three colors that I use. Soft tone, mid brown, and not strong tone, light tone. Wait for the computer to stand up. And they're reformulating these, so they may not be called that exact same thing. I still have the old bottles. This is a water-based product. Soft tone, mid brown. The only reason I use three is, well, first of all, I have them, and second of all, that way not every dripping is exactly the same color. Just add some variety to it. Now, these are all kind of rusty brown type things. So they're similar, but they're not exactly the same. I'll put a little bit of water here. Yeah, I wanted to get that that skyline that has the Godzilla scheme on it. Those are going for a lot of money. Like now, I got a lot of stuff that I already like how it looks. How about we work on those first? And the Skyline is just going to be a performance car. It's not like it's going to behave that much different than anything else, but. All right, so we're going to take places like this, like around these door handles, and we're going to add some corrosion. And some of it's going to drip down. I figure wherever this is taking place in, there's probably acid rain. There's probably not a lot of environmental controls. This is super easy to do, super relaxing. Yeah, and I'm gonna paint those two things on there. I can't really look this thing up because it's a make believe truck. It may be based on something, but I can't tell what the hell it's based on. I do not race slot cars. I've only had one slot car thing my entire life. I got it when I was about 8 years old, and I did not understand the concept of slot cars. We had to like slow down for the turn, so it constantly ran off the track. It was a Spider-Man set from, was it Tyco? I don't know. I looked it up the other day. I looked up the other day what the hell it was. That was a long time ago. Long time ago. Yeah, 1978 or something like that. I'm pretty sure I got it when I was in Alabama. Pretty sure as a kid. Back when Montgomery Ward had a toy department. Probably something like that. All right, let's go in and do now the dark tone, which is basically the black. And let's make sure that some of these details are popping. Yeah, what I'm really severely lacking is figures. That guy wouldn't go on there. He's obviously a redneck, but I'd like to have some bottles or something like that. But I only found a couple people that make them online, and man, they're way too expensive. Where I just don't feel good about ordering something like that. Now we're going to take these other areas that we've already put a black line on, and we're going to run it through again and make sure they pop. And I got a bottle of that Tabia stuff, and I don't find that it works any better than this. I was surprised. But in my opinion, it doesn't work any better than this. And then it's enamel, so I can't clean the brushes with water. And then we'll go around these little boomy things. And I don't know that we have that much more to do here. Now, the window looks a little glossy, and that's all right, but that's going to be eliminated. And we need to paint the two little lights here in the back. And then I think the guy will be ready to go. Yeah, the boombox stuff stand out nicely there. So for that, we're gonna get some red. We already got water here, a little bit of black. And that means we've knocked out another vehicle. That's 2 today. I wish they made more lowrider stuff. And I watched like a van or something like that. I watched a video where some guy was making this adjustable suspension. And man, it looks pretty cool, but man, it's a simple way to do it. And it's a lot of work. And I'm not saying I can't do it. It's just, I don't think it's worth my time. Now, I've got this handle here in the back, the latch handle. Make make this stand out a little bit more. All right, so we're going to leave this thing alone, and we're going to call her done. All right, folks, how long have we been on here? An hour? Something like that? An hour and 15 minutes? Something like that. Yeah, hour and 3 minutes. All right, folks, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's your kind of thing. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.